Okay. So, Louis essentially told you guys you guys were accepted for the job. You guys got to meet a Mr. Johnson at the Foxhole. He didn't tell that to everyone, though. He told a lot of people to just come down to the bar, meet Blackfeather, and then you guys all carpool to the Foxhole together. Blackfeather got the most instructions that that's where you're going, as well as to be there after 11 p.m. So, you're all heading down to ye old ale and whale. Let's describe if we can, because these were freaking glorious. Vladimir, can you recap that beautiful NERP that you saw on TV before you got this? And are you currently drunk?
Vladimir is not drunk. He was actually specifically told to sober up. Apparently, Louis knows him by now. And from your lovable friends at the Ares Arms Juniors Division, introducing Baby's first assault cannon. Compatible with Miracle Shooter and many other modern AR games, BFAC provides weeks of mindless entertainment. The perfect gift for your Orca Troll nephew. Comes in black, chrome, jungle camel, and blood spattered red. And for real-world play, it fires AR slugs and comes with an embedded security chip, broadcasting to any nearby police units that the BFAC is a legal toy. Safety guaranteed. At which point, Ares Arms disclaims pretty much all safety guarantees.
Fantastic. That was a good
It
one.
makes me think that I could like put a security chip on my actual gun that's saying this is just a toy.
I mean, that could work.
If we had a Decker.
If only you had a Decker. Alright, that's fantastic. So, do you have a car, or Vladimir, or do you not have a vehicle? Let's check your sheet out here.
Well, he did have a car.
You did have a car. I thought I remembered you having a car.
right.
Alright.
I was sitting in on that room.
Do you have do you have a bus
It had a
pass
date
yet?
with an assault cannon.
Alright.
Yes, bus pass.
Alright, and also where you live, where you coming from? To describe your lodgings.
I believe Blackbird's place that Vasily, aka Vlad, is crashing at is somewhere over in Snohomish.
Okay.
It is a Russian-style interior, and I believe the neighborhood is Vori controlled. That's about all I really know.
Alright, cool. Well, Snohomish is a good start. So it's going to take you probably quite a while to get there via bus. It will take an hour or maybe more to get to Columbia downtown. What do you prefer to travel? Do you have the subscription to those little tiny little cars that you just get in and drop off in places? Do you taxi it? Do you maybe take this? I think there's a subway in Shadowruns as well. I believe also for a little bit of a premium cost, there are like VTOLs that will like sit down and you can get into a plane and
Yeah.
essentially be flown there. I think I read that somewhere.
I have the feeling that an orc in a VTOL might draw a little attention. Where'd you get all this money, buddy? I think we'll stick with the bus and just budget like 3 hours in case we get pulled over and harassed by police.
Alright, that's fair. And it is a bar, so, you're always welcome down at the old ale and whale. Roll me your edge check. Just your edge pool. Just your general edge. While you're doing that, let's hit it off to Lopez. Lopez, tell me about your home. Tell me about your exciting new retail product that I think you're probably indulging in quite recently, right?
I mean, I didn't write it because I didn't like it.
Right.
Lopez lives in an apartment in Renton.
Mhm.
It's kind of a crappy apartment. It's middle lifestyle, but the way he lives in it makes it look like he's fucking squatting in it. Cigarette butts everywhere, beer bottles everywhere. The tub is just filled with empty liquor bottles.
So you're not getting your deposit
and-
back, is what I'm hearing.
Oh, no, God. No.
No.
Oh, God, no. There's bullet holes in the walls, broken glass on the street, like right under the window, because he likes to throw bottles at, like, cats. There's, like, lawn chairs on the roof, because he'll go up there and shine laser pointers at airplanes. Yeah, the whole 9 yards. And, his cool nerf.
Nope.
It was, he had taken a recent fondness to Alco Wings, which was a recent and exciting line of soy chicken products with an alcoholic content of nearly 40%. Now, for breakfast, rather than digging through the liquor cabinet for that half-empty bottle of lime-flavored synthol, because he just can't handle the soul-crushing guilt of the lives he's taken and can never return, choking on the cold metal feeling of cybernetic augmentations, pressing against his bare muscle and nerves, taunting him with a disgusting reminder of the humanity he's tossed away in pursuit of power, leaving him a shattered, empty husk of a once bright-eyed ass-planter boy turned to a killer by the cruel hand of fate, he can instead dig into a delicious meal of Alco wings and avoid having to face the judgmental light of day sober.
Fantastic. That is great. All right. So you start making your way toward the Ye Olde Ale and Whale. You know where it's at. Your favorite place in the Columbia downtown, I'm sure. Either that or the Foxy Sauna. It's probably tough to call which one you prefer. You got a GMC Phoenix. What color is your Phoenix?
It is black with like a phoenix painted on the front of it.
Oh,
like, you know, like the... I don't know, I'm not a car person. Like, what's the
You old, like,
top part of the
Smokey
car?
and Bandit? Like, the hood?
What do you call it? Yeah.
Is it on the hood or the
Oh, yeah,
roof?
the hood.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're not a car person, but I feel like the hood is an integral part of a car.
It's early. I woke up 10 minutes ago.
Alright, keep drinking your ice water. Okay, you can start heading down there. You'll beat the Vasily there, Vladimir, but we'll go on to...
Oh,
Go ahead.
and Lopez is a suit.
Ooh, what color is your suit?
It's black. It's a professional only suit. Like, this is
Alright.
what I wear when fixers get mad at me for
I feel...
parking my motorcycle on the sidewalk.
Is it straight? Is it like the one thing in your closet in like a bag and well taken care of, or is it like you just picked it up off the closet floor?
No, yeah, this is was sealed in plastic. It's an armored suit. It's the executive suite.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
about as strong as his armored jacket. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and-
could spend money on this.
So I like this imagery and all the mess that is your chaos of your apartment. You have this one suit sealed in plastic inside of your
Yeah.
closet.
He's got he takes it off the hanger, but it kind of stuck to the wall because it's been there so long. So he has to peel it off.
All right, fantastic, Cam. Let's hear about your day life and your nerps.
You want to hear about my nerps, you say?
I want to hear about your nerps in your apartment, and like how you're coming to Ale and Whale, all that.
All right. So my nerps was D-Socks, full foot toxin extraction. Plus they replace all the junk they've removed with a healthy dose of lavender scent to keep your boots smelling fresh. The sharp pains in your ankles let you know they're working.
And you did you strap on some D-Socks today?
It's a Friday night sort of thing.
Oh, okay. So not necessarily on a Sunday.
No. I mean, I try not to wear them when I'm going on a run. They tend to slip and slide around. They're not real great for actually doing things in.
Where do you buy D-Socks? Do you get them at your local Stuffer Shack? Do you get them just out of a vending machine, delivered by drone? What's the story there?
Mine online. You can't find them anywhere nearby.
Okay.
You have to buy them from overseas locations.
Okay. Do you know what company makes D-Socks?
I do not. It's a very generic package.
All right. Is
Probably
it
a subsidiary.
what do they call that? Discreet labeling whenever they come to you? Do they?
I don't want anybody to know you've got smelly boot feet.
Okay, good. Fantastic. All right. Do you have a car by chance? What are you traveling in?
Cam does have a car, yes.
All right. Yeah. See that?
Yes, Cam is driving.
You're the
ahead.
the gearhead. I think I got 2 steel-eyed wheelman so far with you.
Probably, yeah. I've got my Esprit Industries Watcher.
And what does that look like? What is the colors on that?
It is a lovely black SUV.
All right. See what we got here. Seating for 5. That's very cozy. Is your LinguaSoft currently set to the local language of English, or do you have Japanese going?
It is English, yes.
All right. It's got an anti-theft system. Fantastic. All right, Blackfeather. Let's flow on over to you. Tell me about your nerps.
So the camera pans down, and there's a little bit of 70s porn music playing. There's steam rising up, and you get a shot of a man bending down, rubbing something into his hair, and then he whips his head back, and there's just this beautiful mane that just flows in slow motion that almost seems to sparkle and glisten. And you realize that you're looking in on him in his gigantic room that is basically an entire shower all to itself with real flowing water. And the music is not part of a commercial soundtrack, it's actually what he has playing in the background while he's taking a shower getting ready for the run.
Did you name drop your NERP here?
The camera will pan over his shoulder and give a nice close-up on a bottle of Sweet Gas Conditioner. It is the world's most popular, all-natural and mass-produced handmade hair care product designed just for shamanic mages. The rich herbal mix penetrates deeply to invigorate your follicles and produce a luscious shine that most people can only achieve through gene therapy or bioconstructive plasmology. Those are very scary words, and we don't want you to be scared. You can get the same results from a simple bottle of easy-to-use Sweetgrass Conditioner. On sale now for only 2,000 new yen.
That is fantastic. Alright, so you all make your way down to the Ale and Whale. Vladimir, you'll get there a little bit early because you did leave about 3 hours and you got a good hit on your edge check, so you guys will, for my convenience, get there in and around closely the same time. If any of you do not know Blackfeather or have not met, he's probably easy enough to find. I think you have pretty good street cred at this point, right? What's your street cred? 13?
That's gone up to 14.
Alright, so you guys could probably identify him by reputation, if not the beautiful orange-haired human bartender behind the bar can, point each other out to you, so you get to know each other. Let's do a very quick description of what each character looks like in real life, since we only kind of touched on that in our montage here. We'll start with Cam, because your little icon there is the first in my list. So, you want to describe what Cam looks like?
So Cam looks like Lady Dawn Johnson at the moment. She rolls in with her suit on, but the sleeves are the jacket's oversized and it's a fun bright color, and the sleeves have been pushed up past her elbows. And she's I guess she doesn't look quite like because she's got her head shaved and some trodes on.
All right. What's your trodes look
Wearing the
like?
icon shades. The trodes are just a headband.
Yeah. What color is it? Has it got a nice paisley pattern to it? Just a black? What's
Black.
just black? All right. Cam, the blandest of orcs. It's fantastic. Lopez, describe to us what Lopez looks like. I think you're our only human in this group, which should be interesting.
Race what? Race what?
No.
Lopez is an Aslanter man, about 6 feet tall. Usually he would be wearing like an army jacket and like cargo pants with boots, like real gruff looking, but he was told to wear a suit, so he dusted off his executive suite armored suit from his closet and put that on. It's just like a navy jacket, black tie, really business, just like no special occasion. And he has dreadlocks tied with little white bands just going down and all wild, but for this occasion he'll tie them back into sort of a ponytail, just to be look a little more clean. He won't shave though, because he has a pretty messy goatee and he's not going to shave.
Alright. Fantastic. Let's knock out Blackfeather next. You've already quite described your glorious shining locks. What else has Blackfeather got going on for him?
They have slightly changed since the scene in the shower.
Oh.
Now, a part of it is pulled forward and has about 13 different black feathers braided in with little silver clasps connecting them into to his hair. with one long braid going down with them flowing out of it. And he is wearing a very bright blue suit with some silver highlights.
All right.
He is also a 6'6" tall, very skinny elf, and his suit is very form-fitting. So you can see that he probably has a waist the size of Vasily's thigh.
Fantastic. All right, so you all met up. Feel free to have a little dialogue if you'd like. Your meeting, we'll say right now it's about 10 o'clock at night. The foxhole is down in Renton, so you've got a little bit of time to get there or to meet up and discuss anything you want to before the job. You are just told to be there after 11 p.m. It didn't say, didn't give you specifics for the meeting. Blackfeather has a bit of description of who you're looking for when you get there, so feel free to discuss amongst yourselves for a few moments while I pull up some notes.
So Cam wasn't entirely sure what sort of place the foxhole was, but apparently everybody else is wearing black. So she quickly, when she sees everybody else, toggles her suit over from the lovely bright blue to a standard black and tugs the sleeves down real quick.
Oh, so you don't want to match me? That's what I'm hearing.
I actually didn't hear what you said your suit looked like. I just heard the other two describe their suits as black.
Mine's also bright blue.
All right, fine. Cam leaves it bright blue then. I didn't hear the other bright blue. Sorry.
Also, Lopez's was navy.
Man, that's what I get for
So-
trying to look up qualities while other people are talking. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mine is blue and silver, so it's extra shiny.
I'm over here trying to figure out what steely-eyed wheelman does. Sorry.
Lowers
It
your
reduces the terrain.
yeah,
cost, right? I
lowers
have
your
that.
terrain
Yeah, I
thresholds.
finally figured it out.
Yeah. It's
I
another
bought it
driving
after
quality.
I went on a race with tortoise.
So, okay. So, if you have anything else you want to describe to each other, or you just want to head on down to the foxhole?
So, has anyone ever been here before? To where we're going to the foxhole?
Don't know it.
Nope.
Well-
Never been.
I personally have not been there either myself. However, it has a bit of a reputation. So, I hope you have open minds.
All right.
Listen, all right.
So the foxhole, I believe, is at Northeast Park Drive and Garden Avenue down in Renton, northern Renton, I believe. So, on we go. Are we all taking our separate cars, or are we carpooling in one?
Blackfeather will ask if anybody would like to drive the group there so that we can arrive as one.
I would like to. Cannot.
Oh, you don't have your car fixed back up yet?
What in fuck you are mean fix? You are C-car. No, you are not C-car. You are not there.
No, I was in prison at the time.
Car is kill.
I can ride. I can drive us.
That would be deeply appreciated.
Lopez can't hear you guys over the sound of his engine.
He's already left. Alright. Somebody else carpools with Cam. Lopez is gone, driving his own vehicle down there with his, what is it, black and with a bird on the hood, a
Black
phoenix on
with
the
a
hood.
decal.
Yeah. Alright, fantastic. So you guys head down there. It's not hard to find. As you get out front, it is a kind of nondescript black building with some gold trim on the outside. It's got a sign in AR that just says the Foxhole, and it has kind of a little picture of like kind of fox ears and a tail. It's very adorable. Otherwise, it doesn't really say what it is. But you go inside. I believe there is a large bouncer at the door who's looking pretty muscular. This is on the inside of the door, so after you walk through, you see this big Naritaki, who is working bouncer. She will stop anybody who has weapons on them and tell you that you need to, leave weapons in the car. But if you're entering without anything of that nature, then you have no problem walking on through. As you,
I have a
She-
taser. Does that count as a weapon, or just more of entertainment?
yes, the taser is definitely a weapon.
Who's stopping us?
The bouncer. There's a Narataki, who is on the other side of the door whenever you first walk in. She'll tell you that, you know, if you have any weapons, they need to be left in the car.
And a Narataki is.
A Narataki is a four-armed human meta-variant.
Ooh, of a human. Right?
Yes. She is a human.
that's
She
cool.
has 4 arms.
That's cool. Lopez will leave his guns in the car, I guess. He has spurs, so he's kind of a walking weapon.
Yeah. She'll tag you essentially with a little RFID tag, and you see her do this as if she's making marks on you, basically saying that you have cyberware, and she will tell you that kind of in this threatening gesture that if you bring those spurs out, she's gonna deal with you.
If I bring these spurs out, you better hope that you don't have to deal with me.
She'll give you kind of a smirk, and you know, she's well musculared herself, and looks like she could. It would be an interesting fight. If it happens.
To say the least.
Yeah. So if no one else everyone else is leaving stuff in the car, you can
Yep.
come in, no problem. Anybody who had weapons on them, she'll take them from you, basically give you an RFID, essentially like a coat check. She'll check your guns for you. Either that or you can leave them in the car. So you go inside. Once you do get through that, you go inside the Foxhole. It opens up. This is a strip club that exclusively features changelings and other exotic strippers, both male and female. The club is split into two sections, one for each different type. Males on one side, females on the other. You'll see on stage that there is a fox-like what basically could just be called a kitsune. It is like human in form, but she has like fox ears and a fox tail, and she is currently stripping on the main stage. There's a variety of other people mixing around. Besides the Narataki you saw coming the door, you'll see one woman has essentially scales and has eyes like a snake, but otherwise is mostly human features. You'll see another person who is what can only be described as a raccoon with a bandit kind of mask over her eyes and a raccoon-like ring tail. There is a human or meta-humanish person who is an elf who has, looks like a normal elf, all except for that sort of out of their back has what can only be described as kind of tentacles coming out. They are a purplish color, and this person has like this glowing skin. It's on one of the stages, and you can go inside and take a look around. There is also alcohol being served at a bar by what appears to be just a normal human bartender. And there are a variety of people sitting around enjoying the different shows. One of the cocktail waitresses is just he's in like a normal human suit, but he's got like or he looks like a normal human except that he's wearing like a green rubber suit. Just in case that's your thing. So yeah, that's currently what you see as you go in here.
So this place is weird.
I said bring an open mind, and I'm upset that they wouldn't let me keep the taser.
I'm at least glad I brought, cash.
Vasily looks at Blackfeather and just says, "What in fuck?"
Sit,
Yes.
enjoy, learn about culture. Welcome to UCAS Culture. Wide and varied, all flavors. They also serve alcohol here.
I'm in.
Okay.
Cam
Alright.
orders a drink from the gentleman in the green rubber suit.
All right, what do you order from the gentleman in the green rubber suit?
Just a beer.
Alright, he will bring you a delightful mid-ranged beer. It's twice as expensive here, but no surprise given that it's a strip club. For the strippers, being that cash is not normally a thing, there's a lovely little AR displays where you can throw tips of like $1 nuyen or $2 nuyen at them, and essentially then anyone who has AR can see like dollar bills basically like being thrown onto the stage. And, you know,
that's cool.
as strippers do, they tend to favor whoever is doing that and will go up to the edges of the stage and give them a little closer attention, you know, as. But other than that, there are a variety of women and men walking throughout the people and sitting and chatting with people and giving them a little special attention and asking if they want a private show. This place does have kind of VIP sections in the back if you are interested. So as you guys sit down, I assume together, let me roll a d4 and see what we come up with.
Whoa.
Fantastic. Vladimir, as you sit down, the changeling stripper who looks like a raccoon comes and kind of swishes her tail in your direction and sits next to you. She's very curvy and, you know, quite attractive if you're into raccoons. And she has a very flirtatious smile on you, and she asks, you know, how you doing tonight, honey?
Is good night.
Yeah? What can make your night better?
I am go talk to friend. Sorry. He gets up
come
and he
on.
walks to a corner.
Have some more booze. We'll get you laid.
Oh, we got this. Well, that's not stripper club music at all.
Hey, whoa, that was Russian stripper music.
Yeah, all right, that's what's going
Reminds
on.
Vlad
That's-
of the old.
yeah. On one of the stage you walk over towards Vladimir, you see what looks to be like an orc, but has like these red stripes all down their body, and she is doing kind of a dance to this European festival music.
You know what? That's much further within his normal worldview. He'll just sit there.
Alright. Sit there. Do you throw a few tips at her?
Yeah, 50 new yen. Why not?
Oh man, yeah. She comes over and she tells you for that after she gets off the stage, she can give you a private dance.
Good. It'll keep the people he's uncomfortable with away.
Okay. So after she gets off the stage, she'll come give you, escort you to a private room and give you a dance in the back. So you guys are waiting for this. Blackfeather, if you want to do a sensing check, or if anybody wants to do a perception check to look for your Johnson, I don't know if you've described what you're looking for to anyone else.
I was actually going to look on the astral. The nice raccoon lady, is she dual-natured?
No, she is not dual-natured. She appears to be mundane.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I was going to ask her if she's seen the person we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But since the description I have of him is only of how he looks in the astral.
So, Lopez, are you partaking in any of the stages? What is Lopez's type? Are you just sitting back drinking?
Lopez will do both. He likes humans. What's closest to human?
Well, after you guys have been there for about half an hour, that Narataki actually comes out on stage, dressed in just like a G-string and some pasties, and starts doing gymnastics essentially on the stage and juggling with two hands while like using her other hands to like, you know, rub herself out up and down seductively.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Lopez will go up to that stage and throw on, like, I don't know, say 40 nuyen.
Alright, you guys have never been to strip clubs, have you? Alright, you throw up 40 million. And you are now getting the attention of basically all the strippers in this place. Everyone is paying attention to you. Anybody who's sitting back not at a private stage has a stripper who's sitting down next to them, like Blackfeather and Cam, trying to make small talk with them. For Lopez and Vladimir, you know, Vladimir, if you come back out from your private dance, that that red striped stripper is sitting down next to you, trying to chat you up a little bit. Similar, this Naritaki is now paying a lot of attention to Lopez, as you guys have.
It feels good to get the attention that I deserve.
Yeah, no, you guys are high rollers, man. They are spending a lot of attention for you. Blackfeather, who I think is sitting back, sensing the situation. You get with your shaman. You feel this the background count for you. It's about a 2, aspected toward. Not in your tradition. This is not a shamanic area, to say the least. You look around, you see all the as you expect. You see a little bit of despair here and there, people who are in their cups. You see people who are obviously very excited in all the situation. And after you scan the room, you guys have been here for, say, nearly an hour, still waiting for your Johnson. You do see 4 people who come out of the VIP section. One of them is an elf with dark hair who is dressed in a very high fashion executive style suit. It looks extremely expensive, tailor made for him. It is he's got a black shirt underneath, but otherwise it is a dark kind of purple coloring. It is done in kind of more of an Asian style as well. One would even say probably, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It is very fashionable. You also see with him is 3 men who are in very black, nondescript clothing. They have kind of reflective mirror shades on, and he looks fairly clearly. This dude is a corp exec, and these are his goons, his bodyguards, if you will. As you sense him, he is awakened, and his astral form is that of somebody who is has sharp elven Korean features, and yeah. So they walk out and sit over in kind of a private corner where so far no one else is mingling. It's kind of in this it's got like a wraparound booth. His 2 goons sit on either, kind of post up on either side of them. One sits next to him in the booth, and then he is sitting there. And this is kind of meant to be more of I don't want to say it's private because it's still facing kind of the outer dance pool, but it's obviously set far enough back. It's not easy to overhear or intermingling with other groups. And so far, none of the strippers have gotten up and gone over to talk to him. He's just kind of sitting there watching the goings on.
I'll go to one of the lovely people at our table and ask if they know the people in the back corner there.
You're going to one of the strippers around you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the raccoon, who's still not too far, she'll give you a quick smile and tell you, I've never seen that one before. Though the guards that are with him, I've seen one of them come around once in a while. He never really talks to any of the girls. He mostly just watches the boys.
Well, nothing wrong with that. I don't suppose I could convince you to do me a slight favor, and I'll take out 20 new yen.
Mm-hmm.
Could you go ask that gentleman if he would like some company? Tell him that we're from Louis.
I say she would smile and be like, from you or from me?
From me?
When you ask if he would like some company, she looks at you and from you or from me? So you say from me. She'll take the 20 you slide to her in AR, and she'll walk over, and you see her kind of lean down, swishing her raccoony-like tail and whispering to the guy, smiling. She does so, and she looks back over her shoulder at you, Blackfeather, and then looks back to the gentleman in the suit that she's talking to. And he will kind of lean close to her, give her this award-winning smile, if you will, and then she'll come back to you, Blackfeather, and she'll tell you, Mr. Johnson said you're more than welcome to join him at his table.
Oh, why, thank you. You have been most helpful.
You too, sweetie. Let me know if you want a private dance.
I surely will. And I'll, like, look at the rest of the people who are here with me and try to figure out which ones I should bring with me to go meet him and which ones should stay here with the dancers.
Okay.
Interesting.
The question is, how drunk are Lopez and Vladimir?
0 drunk.
Like 15% drunk. There,
Alright.
some drinks have been ordered.
So that's like 35% inhuman drunk.
He is a human.
I don't know, man. Not the way he's throwing them back.
It's true. It's true.
So,
Not-
which of you would like to come with me to see what this Mr. Johnson would like to speak with us about? And which of you would like to stay here and enjoy the company?
I mean, I'd love to stay here, but I have to work. So.
Make him come.
You know, you can stay here if you want. We'll be just over there, so if we need you,
Okay, yeah,
I can
go
yell
ahead.
loudly.
No problem.
Okay, so Lopez is gonna stay with his Narataki stripper who's paying him
I'm
special
like,
attention now.
Wave you guys away.
Vasily will come with, though.
She's got like one arm wrapped around Lopez's shoulders and the other one is like resting on his thigh, and the other two are like tapping away at the like stage bar next to them, like table.
I can't keep track of all these arms at once.
Okay.
That's part of the fun.
Alright, I think Blackfeather, Vladimir, and is Cam walking over to the Johnson stable?
Yeah, Cam's heading over to the Johnson's table, unless Blackfeather would rather she stayed behind.
No, that's fine.
Alright, the three of you kind of walk up to the table, and when you do, the Johnson gives you just this big, beautiful, welcoming smile, and indicates for you to sit next to him with a hand gesture. As you do, his bodyguard. So this booth kind of makes an L on the back wall, right? The Johnson sits on one side. The bodyguard sort of sits in the middle, and then the three of you can slide around to the edge of the table to where one of you will be butting up against the bodyguard, but you're going to be intentionally like he's keeping himself between you and the Johnson, if that makes sense.
Vasily will go ahead and butt up against the bodyguard, just in case.
All right. The bodyguard is an orc. He's about your size. So he's kind of intentionally watching the crowd and not necessarily watching you guys, obviously. So after you guys are all seated, you see the Johnson smile and kind of does a low whistle. And when he does that, the sound of the entire club drowns out, and you hear nothing coming from the club around you anymore despite the music. It just gets complete silenced.
Did he just cast sound barrier?
You might think so, based on that. Yeah. So, after all of that is done, he will smile very nicely at the two of you, but particularly he's focusing on Blackfeather. And he says, well, I hear you're from Louis, and it's fantastic. My time is short, so I will get right down to business. I need to hire you to break out an employee of mine from a corporate jail here in Renton, actually. She's being held. She's been here for about 2 months, I believe. I have a good deal of resources that can help you get this done. The base pay for this is 9,000 nuyen each. And any questions?
Many questions, most of them around the word jail. And depending on the answers to those questions, we may need to renegotiate that price, but I think that will be more than fair. Where exactly is this jail, and what type of security are we looking at here?
I'll give you all details for that, provided that you are accepting the job. I don't want to have this offer go back to the people who were looking to liberate her from. Though I think hitting this particular facility might come as a... Some people might enjoy this from Louis.
And I'll look towards Vladimir. Well, the last prison break that we were hired to do ended up being much more costly than originally anticipated.
He smiles. I don't know who hired you to do the last one, but I can assure you that my resources and pockets go much deeper. And it is a courtesy that I am here instead of one of my Mr. Johnsons, who I would normally send to do these. I do not expect there will be any problems like the amateur that you ran for last time.
Very well. The 9,000 sounds like a reasonable base rate. Would you be willing to cover any possible expenses that we may come up with? Oh, of course, we can discuss that after the job as well.
Blackfeather, go ahead and roll for me first your etiquette.
Is he a media executive?
No, you do not seem to get that indication from him.
I'm fine with that roll.
Yeah, that'd be cool if he was, but no, he is not a media executive. Let me see what his perception skill is. Oh, fantastic. Alright. At kind of your professionalism and whatnot, he smiles and kind of leans back as you see you've put him a little more at ease. So if you want to go ahead and do your negotiation roll for, it sounds like expenses is kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, on the off chance that I have to burn a rating 6 sin, I don't want to pay for that again.
Fair enough. Okay, so go ahead and do me a negotiation roll. You can have a +2 because you got so many net hits on your etiquette that he is essentially moved into the friendly category. Alright. Check out what his negotiation is.
Jeez, I know who I'm hiring if I ever need to get out of jail. You're my lawyer now.
You know, I've run with several people who are much better at negotiation than I am.
Ooh, let me check his limits. Let me see what I got. Okay. So he'll kind of quickly he'll smile at you. He'll put up and say, "I'll give you 5,000 unit expense account for anything, but I'm not covering things bigger than that. That said, as I have made note of before, I have extensive researches that can provide you with about anything you'll need to accomplish this, just short of direct intervention on my part."
And those resources, are you talking people, information, equipment,
Yes.
leverage?
No people. I can, well, depending on what you need them for, perhaps. But all of those things. Does anyone have shadow community knowledge? Shadow community?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that for me, Vladimir.
Can I apply special personality specialization?
Yeah, I will definitely take that, because this person is definitely a personality.
One hit.
That's okay. Let me double check what his street cred is. Oh, I was totally trying to type to Vladimir, and you have a silly thing. Let me double check his street cred. Okay. So I'll just give you that details for one hit. You don't get the rest of it.
Bud just kind of raises his eyebrows and doesn't say anything.
Okay. All right, Blackfeather. Back to your deal. What did you want? What'd you ask him?
Just a rundown, and he said no people, and Well, the 5,000 expense account should probably cover most incidentals that we might need to run into for that. So, assuming that everyone else is comfortable with that, and I'll look back to Cam and Vlad.
Cam gives a short nod.
He puts his hand out, palm down, and kind of wiggles it in the, you know.
All
Then
right.
nod.
Considering you're meeting us here, I assume that you're not going to ask us to do anything that would offend my moral sensibilities. So, I think in principle we can accept the job. Of course, if the employee you want us to break out for some reason is unacceptable, we will let you know up front, and of course, we'll not say anything to anyone.
Don't think that will be an issue. The employee that I wish for you to break out, her street name was Dawn. Her real name is Paula Chinchilla. She works for me. She is currently being held in a Cybersecurity Solutions corporate facility. On the lowest level will be Cellblock D, will be likely where she will find her. As I said, if you come up with a plan of how you want to do this, I can provide you a number of resources. Typically no people, though. But information, blackmail material, all of these things should be fairly easy to find.
Dawn, you say? D-O-N.
That's what your people know her as.
I believe I may have worked for her before.
Now, depending on the condition she's in, if you can get to her and help get her out, she may be of use for you in your exit strategy. But she has been there for several months now.
Well, she has proven to be very honorable the time that I did work for her, so I personally think that this is acceptable. I have no love for cybersecurity.
I thought you might not.
Now, and I'll look to like Cam and Vasily, and I have a feeling that my companions also would not have a problem doing bad things to cybersecurity.
I don't know them. Not a problem.
They're more or less Humanus. They're connected. Humanus with guns.
And
Yeah.
badges.
Vasily looks at Johnson and says, Mr. Johnson, I am like you already.
He gives you a
Humanus with
smirk.
edges sounds like KE.
Sounds like a good time to me.
I'll tell you, I have no love for these people, so I put no restrictions on how you do this work. As you said, I will put you in contact with one of my lackeys, and he will slip you another number. Contact them if you need any sort of resources. We can provide you with a good deal of these things on hand. Once you have Paula, send a message to this comm code as well, and he'll provide you with that. A helicopter will be sent to pick you up as an extraction. This, of course, needs to be off of Cyprus corporate property.
Helicopter is stealth?
No, but it won't need to be.
It should be fast enough. How far away from Cyprus property? Are we talking just merely outside the corporate limits, or would you prefer a block or two further?
Far enough away, preferably not shooting at the helicopter, but I doubt they'll do that anyway. You'll also need to find a place for it to land, so somewhere where it's nice and flat. I'll leave that up to you. There are 3 extraction points on the north, south, and east side that would probably be appropriate for this.
And if we cannot find a place for land, it would be perfect. Would they be able to accept an airborne transfer?
If you have the options for that.
I'd prefer not to. Those things can get messy, but keep in mind. All right. And is there a time limit that you have on this job? I understand that the longer that Dawn stays in there, the worse things will be.
She's been in there for months now. So, sooner rather than later, but I have no time limits.
Wonderful.
The faster you get this done, though, the more you'll impress me.
And you seem like a man who is good to impress.
I'll give you a quick tip and take a sip from his drink that he has on hand.
Oh, very well. This number you gave me, they have all the information that we will need?
Yes. They can provide that for you.
Well, I suppose that we should leave you to your night and see what we can do about planning.
He'll give you a nod, that individual. He'll slip you another set of numbers. He'll tell you this will be to an expense account. All the money has to be essentially accounted for, as in you got to give him receipts. But so you can essentially expense stuff to it. You can't take the money out though, per se. And he'll provide you with that as well. So, and then if you have nothing else, he will get up and depart.
We need receipts?
He'll
We're
t-
Shadowrunners.
As he stands up, he'll tell you, "It's a pleasure doing business with you."
You as well, and I'll do the gracious host thing, and then go back and join Lopez.
Yeah, he'll drop his spells and he will exit the actual building and leave.
So, is Lopez going to stay here for the night?
Are you gonna fill me in on what's going on?
Oh, very, very briefly. I'll tell you that we need to break someone who's a friend of Louis out of a racist prison. There's no real time limit. They've already been there for months. Would you like to continue spending your night here? And then we can reconvene in the morning?
Sounds good, Chico. That was Lopez.
Vlad will try to exchange contact information with Lopez and Blackfeather via AR. So you guys have his comm code for Vasily. Do you reciprocate?
I already have your number.
Yes, I am lose your number.
Well, that number still works. It just goes to someone who's going to get arrested at the first possible opportunity.
I don't want to call number Lone Star is watched.
Are you sure? It could make for interesting times.
Very
Interesting
sure. I am
All right.
think hard about it.
Yeah, if all goes well for this run, then you can have my comm number.
You get a comm number for a Daniel Ravenswing.
Do I put that in my notes or like my contacts?
It's up to you. You can put it in your
And,
notes if you want.
As soon as he gets your number, you will get a text message from Vasily saying that I'll PM it to you actually.
Is Dawn a human or?
Yeah, so when you guys get the information and download it, you will get a picture for a human.
That's good. You know,
Let's see if I can find a picture of it.
she's not being treated badly, relatively.
She has like black hair, very almost yellowish eyes, very manicured eyebrows, and like this thick like mulberry lipstick on in the picture. There we go.
I'm trying to remember the run that I did that she was on.
Vasily is going to go ahead and do a matrix search for satellite pictures of the surrounding area, just to get a look at the potential pickup zones that were mentioned.
Yeah, they're not too far. They're a quick kind of run of about 50 meters, essentially from the outer fence. That would be
Sorry, 50 meters, did you said?
yeah, about 50 meters from the fence, essentially. Where the outer fence, it's a prison, right? So it's surrounded, it's got a stone wall. It's topped with cantina wire, and then it's 50 meters outside of that outer fence. It would be where the pickup locations are.
Fair enough. In the case that shit hits the fan and the helicopter becomes a not viable option, Vasily would like to have a rough idea where they could run. Is there any forest nearby? That sort of thing.
No, this is actually, it looks like all of the area has been cleared out and made into kind of an industrial wasteland. So it looks like it was almost there probably were trees and forests and whatnot out there, but now it's just been all cleared off and paved. And other than small kind of like, I don't want to say parks, area that has been replanted with grass and like trees like intentionally put somewhere as like decor versus like a forest, right? It's not dense, it's just like manufactured and landscaped. That's the word I want. So there's not a whole lot you can do, or it's intentionally, not surprisingly, made clear around this area, so if somebody was to get out and run, they could see them for quite a ways. But yeah, there is some trees and stuff like that you could maybe take cover behind, but there's nothing really to sneak or to slip into and lose line of sight, if that makes sense.
What part of Seattle is it actually in?
It is in Lower East Renton. I will, if you got the map, I'll pull up the map here and tell you where it's at.
Is it Shadow Lake Correctional Facilities?
Uh,
I didn't happen to see that one in that general area.
yeah, oh, I'm totally in the wrong district. I need to go to Renton. It is... Oh, yeah, Renton. I totally missed it. Yeah, it's closer to around that. It's not the Shadow Lakes facility, but it is actually kind of right above where... See where the dot is for the Filthy Dragon? Just to like the southwest of that. It's right above that. So in the kind of Meridian Valley Gulf CC area, very, very lower area there, right between Auburn and Renton. So it'd be kind of southwest from where the Shadow Lake Correctional Facility is.
Okay.
You know,
Alright, that's all I got for now.
in retrospect, I should have totally just used the Shadow Lake Correctional Facility. That would have been cool. But no, I have made up my own that is there. It's a cybersecurity site. It is to the, southwest of the Shadow Lake one.
Apparently I'm mistaken. Apparently I have never run for Dawn.
I couldn't find any of my notes anywhere you had, but...
I think I applied to one. That must be it. Anyways. I'm fine lying to a guy to his face. It sounds impressive anyways.
he didn't do a con check, so he believed you.
Alright. Now, so for getting the info, Vasily has a rough idea of where it is. Do we have a map of the facility?
So if you start contacting that number that the Johnson gave you, he will give you a very... He will... Let me see what he's got. Let me double check my notes here. He is able to give you, yes, a very, very rough, essentially, blueprint of what this place look like, because it's a, it's a place that they're very commonly all laid out to be in a very similar fashion. There is, let me start reading you the notes. So this place is not a jail. It's not like it's a jail, but it's not like a correctional facility, if you will. This is a corporate jail system. So the top of the cell block A, let me explain first. It is all one story on top, but it has high ceilings. So you imagine there's probably a walkway, if not like a second floor. You know what I mean? Like there's probably maybe upper cells or a catwalk, but it just has tall ceilings. It's not necessarily a totally second floor. They're going to be divided into 4 cell blocks. Cell block A is almost luxurious. They're more like dormitories than holding cells. There's a lot of autonomy within the prisoners there. These are going to be very cushy kind of middle managers or executives, people who've maybe committed some type of light crime against the corporation, or kind of, anyway, they're sort of low flight risk, stuff like that. Cell block B and C are kind of the larger cells area that makes up the primary space of that. Those are going to be persons who are imprisoned for kind of light crimes against the corporation, or it could be even somebody who has offended, somebody else, like an executive in the corporation, or stuck their nose where it didn't belong, and then they end up getting sent to one of these places for a while. Cell blocks B and C are on the same level, and they have a male cell block and a female cell block respectively. Each of those has a small cell that holds 2 prisoners. And then the very south side of that floor is where more of the administrative, the infirmary, those kind of places are. And then cell block D, which is where they think Don is only going to be accessible through the elevators and stairwells related to the security or medical offices, and that's all going to be underground in like kind of the basement. I do have a map for you if I can find it here. That makes sense of what we're doing here. Can I pull this map out? Here, I'll give you this. I'll just show that to everybody. I don't think there's anything in it that I didn't account for. Let's see, I have this, totally have this map somewhere. I was gonna put it on the thing so that everybody at home could see this lovely map. Did you guys get that? Video show players?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So you can look through that. If you have any additional questions, let me know.
So I'm looking at the basement thing.
I'll put it up so you guys can ping it if you have questions.
Okay, security, sterile from security and medical offices.
Yeah, and all of that's in that lower half on the south side. That's where all the kind of the nicer looking areas are. This one here, if you can see where I'm pinging, is where the medical bay is.
Elevator down.
Yeah, the elevator down is there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shall we assess the team's strengths and figure out what the best course of action will be? Now, I am very bad at running in, shooting things up, and then not getting dead while being shot back at. I'm much better at sneaking into
interesting.
places.
I don't like get shot.
It's interesting that they would say that because I'm very good at that thing, running in and shooting people.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, I can go either way. I'm not super thrilled with either one, though.
Considering this is a cybersecurity facility, and I'll look at Lopez. I think only one person here might be able to sneak in with me.
Why are you looking at me?
Because they hate everyone who isn't human.
Oh. It's because I'm Aslana, right?
It's because you don't have pointy ears or tusks.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yep. Okay, makes sense. So what are you thinking?
Well, I think it would be good for us to figure out the security complement that would be in such a place. Looking at the team strengths overall, some sort of combined assault and extraction would probably be very good. Because we need to get to the more secure facility. I have no idea how these things work. The last prison that I was at, they kept all the mages separated in their own little spot, completely drugged up and unconscious the entire time. Which, if you ask me, is a terrible way to try to rehabilitate someone. I mean, if they're unconscious, then you're not actually teaching them anything. They're not learning, they're just asleep. It's terrible.
Huh. I am half idea. What if hire lawyer say is abuse? Check on client. When client is brought, maybe it can take.
I don't know, does anybody have corporate law? Oh, that's the name of this run. Got it.
Well, I do not know much about the law, but I can sound impressive to anybody who doesn't know the law either. But that is a good idea. We don't even need... Basically, I think that the main problem will be... I don't want to go down into a little hole and then down a long hallway to get to the person that we need to get to, only to find that there are 50 guards standing around the outside of where we exit with machine guns pointed at our heads. That seems like a bad idea. I would much rather be 50 guards with machine guns spread around that will take some time to get to a point where they can shoot us.
It's probably drone on T block, but you're right. We are need distraction. If we are go that way, I don't want fight. Yell.
Well, we can see what other resources they have available. Does anyone have any other questions, concerns, comments?
Not at this moment.
No.
All right. So the current plan that we are working on is a two-part plan. One, we create a distraction that will draw most of the guards away from the area that we'll be in, and two, we figure out some way to get them to bring Dawn out of the little hidey hole, so that it'll be easier for the people inside to extract, which should be easier due to the distraction. Yes.
This may be possible.
Good.
Vasily would like to make a matrix search to see if Cyprus Securities owns any other prison facilities in the region.
Sure. Go ahead and roll it.
3 hits.
Nice. Okay, with 3 hits, no. Cyprus Security does not own any other prison facilities in the area. They have like precincts and like small jails, you know, if they just apprehended someone, stuff like that. But they don't have any other like really prison facilities like they do here.
I'll transfer the list to Blackfeather and say maybe I'll say on DNI, by the way. I assume we're having this conversation on DNI.
You can have it wherever you
Maybe
so like.
Could make riot. If riot is big, they are send backup, maybe. Less people at prison.
That would be very interesting. Yes, that's a good idea. I'm wondering though, because I don't really know how these things work. My time in prison was it was very boring, and we never had a riot. But if there's a riot somewhere else, that wouldn't cause them to lock down the jail that we are at currently, correct?
I don't know.
Lockdown facility. So this facility could potentially go in lockdown, but it's not going to be like a maximum security prison, right? Keep in mind that for subblocks A, B, and C, these are all like corporate offenders and blue collar, or not blue collar, white collar people, right? So at most they may put them like back in their cells or something like that. But especially in subblock A, you know, those are going to be the type of people that once they've served their stuff and potentially get out, you know, no guard wants to have to deal with potentially the wrath if they get some political power again, right? So, so yeah, they're not going to see like the entire place go down and everyone get gassed. Per se. In fact, in the top floor above, like sublike D, there's not likely to be any type of. I'm trying to think the best way to say it. You know, they're going to be very careful with the type of attacks they have. They don't want to do anything to endanger kind of these blue collar workers, many of who probably still do have a day job and do work from their cells if they can from AR. You know, so they're. I just, what kind of lockdown are you looking for? Is there anything specific that I can talk about?
Basically, if we find a way to get some of us inside in a air quotes legitimate capacity, and there's a riot at another prison that will cause guards here to be drawn away.
Oh no, yeah, they're not going to.
This one will not get.
Yeah, they're not going to
kicked out.
Yeah, they're not going to move around human resources like that. To where like if a precinct comes under attack, they're not going to take guards from this facility to move it there or anything like that.
Oh, damn.
They what was I going to tell you? I've forgotten. Does anyone have corporate knowledge too? I can give you some clues on that stuff.
Only the shit they tell us, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Let me see what else I got. Roll me smuggling routes, buddy. You got smuggling. That's cool.
Sure.
Oh, do you guys? Oh yeah, Cam has smuggling. Okay. What else we got here? I think that's about it. Blackfeather, what's your knowledge skills? Fastened to initiative spirits. Could I super fly there? So yeah, so the top, like I said, the top 3 cells are going to be very. They're not going to be maximum security kind of style prisons. They're going to be a little nice, even if they are still kind of technically a jail. The bottom floors are, yeah, going to be the place where maybe it's a little scarier. Cam, you would know that, like I've already kind of told you from your knowledge of prison gangs, that there is definitely going to be still prison gangs in this place, and there's going to be smuggling. Now, the smuggling is probably not like like trying to get weapons in as much as trying to get maybe drugs or people's indulgence, Beatles porn, whatever that kind of stuff is that you suddenly don't have being inside here. There is still smuggling that will be going on. That might be some ways to move things in and out if you want to go for a more stealth approach. All of the guards will be human, given that it's Cyprus security, but some of the prisoners all the prisoners on the cell block A, B, C are probably going to be human or look human, but the ones who are in the basement floor, they're going to be a mix of people, obviously, because that's where they held Shadowrunners or other dangerous criminals, and the reason they kind of put them down there probably has to do with sort of out of sight, out of mind. You know, not everyone would think to look for those kind of dangerous criminals underneath a cushy corporate jail. So yes, smuggling could be an option for moving things inside of this place.
I definitely like knocking off these white-collar facilities better than fucking triple max prisons.
All right. So, in order to get Dawn to us inside the prison, I have a couple ideas and options. We can go for the lawyer route. I'm not sure how successful I will be at lawyering. We can also set up an interview, perhaps, and spin it to having us edit out, or editing it to show what a great job Cyprus is doing reforming dangerous criminals, blah 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 blah. We might need to get some outside support to set up a meeting time with that. It might be a bit easier for me to get in doing that, considering that I am a card-carrying member of Humanus.
Thank you for fucking remind.
You're welcome. I don't know how good their scanners will be for me to get in using that SIN, considering that I am both not human nor female. But this looks like a much lighter prison, so maybe that would be an option.
Maybe bribe Dorger.
I wonder how much they do pay the guards here, how loyal they are.
I mean, they're dedicated to a cause.
Well, so this is a corporation, and they are employees. And while Cyprus Security has strong humanist ties, they are not necessarily humanists. Humanist is a political organization, so it's like saying Walmart is Republicans. It's not really like.
Or like working for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone's gonna have their own personal beliefs, you know. At some point, some of them may have stronger humanist ties than others, and the company certainly does have those ties. But don't make too many assumptions on every employee. Though I will remind you that your Johnson also said he has a lot of things he can give you if you can come up with some ideas on what you need. And when you're talking about the lawyer route, that's not a bad idea, but just keep in mind that this is an extraterritorial property and their laws are the ones who apply. So, not the UCAS.
I don't know the law anyway.
Okay.
I mean, the other option is to inter two very dangerous orcish criminals.
Obviously, I'm not like.
Oh, sure, yeah. Go straight to that. Out and put in the basement.
Comfy bed, meals 24 hours a day through a tube. What's not to like?
Robotic
Fucking
arms
humanus.
to carry you to make sure you don't get bed sores. Yeah, it's a real lifestyle.
I mean, I only suggested that way later.
At least, I do appreciate that. Wasn't the first place you went.
Oh, otherwise I have no idea how to get the two of you into the facility without high explosives.
Out.
Yeah, let's keep that on like the planning board.
Can I
Maybe
do
put it
a
off to the side.
an astral flyby of the prison?
Sure. What do you want to know about it? You zoom out of your
Uh,
body and fly over to Lower Renton.
Are there wards? Are there spirits that are watching?
You see no wards, no spirits.
I stick my head through a wall.
Okay. 1 second.
Is there wards and spirits inside of the prison?
Alright, you start trying to fly through the prison walls. You roll some rolls here. I need to look up a quick thing as you've done that. 1 second. Needless to say, you're not finding any wards now.
I'm gonna be more amazed than upset if you manage to burn this run before we're done planning.
I've done that before.
Okay. Let me, double check something here. Okay, you started finding, you see lots of life, but you do not see any wards, you do not see any spirits.
Okay. I'm careful not to pass through any people as I'm snooping around.
Well, and keep this in mind too. When you fly through a wall, you don't know what's on the other side of it, so you may or may
I
not
know.
be flying through people. But yeah, that's fine.
I'm willing to roll the dice on that once to get in and once to get out.
Yep.
But inside, yeah, I'm looking around, so I'm not seeing any wards or watcher spirits, which makes sense because Cyprus also hates magic.
They do.
And I'm just going through, and basically what I'm trying to get here is if I use a physical mask on Cam and Vasily, will it just fall off when they walk through a ward in the front door? Are there awakened? Do they have awakened people who are around observing things? And stuff like that.
Okay. 1 second. I'm going to need you to do a thing. I just need to figure out what exactly the rolls I need to make for Fab are.
Hopefully they're not using the expensive fab.
Yeah. So after so give me a roll to try to get through the inner wall. Sorry, that's what I needed to look up. We'll just treat it like a mana barrier, basically. And so do me a magic plus charisma. You don't have quicken spells or anything like that, right?
I have one sustain spell.
Okay. That was a physical spell though, right? So it's not gonna matter if you start doing astral flyby. It's gonna drop because you switched to the physical plane or the astral plane.
It is a...
Increased intuition is a physical spell.
That still bumps my stat, it just stays behind on my body.
Nope, I don't think that's how that works. I just answered this question the other day for somebody. Because you have to be on the physical plane to affect the physical plane, and you have left the physical plane and gone purely astral.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead and roll a magic plus charisma.
That was the 6 successes.
Alright, cool. Oh, let's see. Okay, you manage to slip through the outer wall and into this place, and you begin looking around. You do not see anything else. If you want to go through another wall, go ahead and roll it again.
Are there doors that I can look through to go through?
Yeah, if you want to try to slide through a door, you can.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not going to slide into a person.
I mean, there are no open doors. They're obviously all closed because this is a prison. But yeah. They just show up as gray, non-transparent items on the astral, so you can't see what's on the other side. Okay, you slide through another door. So let's say you went to the outer wall. Ping where you were trying to go on the map.
I would be trying to get to the central area. Basically, I would probably be trying to follow the path, kind of the path that it would be to get in, because, again, I'm trying to see if anything would destroy a spell that was sustained. Which, now that you mentioned Fab, can I tell that there's Fab there?
I believe you can. If you fly through the wall and you turn around and look at the other side, I believe you'll probably see this glowing presence as this mana-sensitive bacteria has been coated on the outer wall, or in the inner walls of the 2 walls that you have flown through.
Okay. Well, if they need to open doors to get through, then that probably won't be a problem. I think I've got what I need to know, so I will GTFO.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me your willpower.
I'm super willful.
Okay. Alright, you'll take 2 points of physical damage as the Fab 3 from the outer wall begins to try to eat through your astral form.
Oh, sweet Jesus. It hurts. I'll go back home and suffer.
Alright, you fly back home and suffer.
That's not drain damage, is it?
I don't believe so. It's just magical. It just says it's a bacteria that tries to eat you.
I heal the damage back up.
Alright.
I'm not used to taking physical damage I can heal.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, it looks like I might be able to use a spell to disguise the orc so that you could come in as well. Looking, of course, less attractive and more human.
How we are get out?
With feet.
How we are bring body?
I've seen you punch through a car. I have faith.
Yes, but for disguise.
Well, once we're in and once we have the person we need, then the path out is a lot shorter and more direct.
So, as loath as I am to even bring this up, this place has connection to outside facilities or utilities, right?
You would like to kill the power?
Well, I was thinking of infiltration via drainage of some sort, maybe. But
You
we
are
could totally
want to
kill the
climb
power,
up shit
too.
pipe.
Well, Cam absolutely does not want to do that, but
We're gonna reverse Shawshank this motherfucker.
I'd usually prefer the front door if possible, but
well,
I understand your reservation.
You and me both.
Should we call up Mr. Johnson's wonderful friend and see if and lay out the options that we have and see if they can provide any assistance in regards to any of them?
Seems reasonable.
That is good. Maybe find if sewer is go close enough, I can break in, and we go out that way.
All right.
Alright, you call up the contact?
Yep.
Alright. You get a lovely smacking sound of somebody chewing gum and it says like, Neonet Shadow Operations, this is Camilo, what can I help you with?
Camilo, you say?
Camilo.
I was given your number by a wonderful gentleman who most likely would wish to remain anonymous. And I'm
Please
wondering...
provide the code on your contacts page. And you look
And-
and there's a little code of numbers like string.
543A7-B98. Is that an umlaut? Why do you have an umlaut in your code? A umlaut 743.
One moment. Yes, alright, I have your contact here. What can we do for you?
Do you have information about the facility?
Yes, of course. What kind of information would you like?
Well, we are currently looking for a possible way to extract the target, and are wondering what assistance you could provide.
It looks like here we provide to clear for leverage, any blackmail contacts, expenses for that. We can provide connections to the inside via smuggling routes, as well as through connections of people looking to perhaps transfer to Neonet after their stint is done in the corporation. You were already provided with floor plans, it appears. We have an extraction related to a helicopter. We can provide the security plans on hand, as well as any security tactics, if you need information on those.
You say you can provide the security plans and whatnot. So you can give us a roster of how many people we could expect to encounter along a given route, and how long their response team would take to get there.
Response times for this area are... So, excuse me, HTR to SWAT response times, they of course have on-site security, naturally, is between 5 and 10 minutes, depending on if they were already alerted of a presence. It looks like their on-site security devices include car readers, keypads, chemical detection, and millimeter wave detection. The gates from the prison itself to the surrounding yard is operated by RFID tags in the segways. They do have a corporate host tied to this. They do have a on-site rigger, and there is somewhere between 30 employees on site at any one time.
And of those employees, would any of them have the authorization to extract the target to another location within the facility?
For subblocks A, B, C, and D, yes. Subblock D is purely controlled by the warden and requires a direct corporate directive.
And I'm loath to ask this, but I don't suppose you know of the sewer access plans in case we need to do a dirty insertion.
This facility is tied to public facilities. It looks like it's buried underneath an estimated of a meter of concrete.
All right. Does that help you, Vlad? Vasily?
I think cannot punch through 1 meter will take time. Maybe go blow up.
Anyone else have questions that they would like answered?
Oh, I forgot. As well as part of the security includes fab sensors as well as fab on the outside of the building. Or the inner walls for the outside walls.
Those sensors would trigger on spells that are currently sustained and moving through the open doors.
Yes, it appears that those are only on entry. Internal doors would not have them, it looks like.
Well, that's unfortunate. All right. And only the warden has the authority to make a to extract a prisoner out of there. Is there any sort of rotation for medical or visitation or anything like that for the prisoners in Subblock D?
Subblock D does have medical wards only on the first floor, though it does appear that a doctor, if they feel they need to, could potentially move the person from the lower floor up to the Subblock D, though in particular for the target it appears that you are looking for, the only one who can give a directive for this person to be moved is James Tanner himself.
Seems like a long shot, but do they have any sort of leverage against James Tanner?
No, not currently. We could find you leverage on one of the lower employees, but not for James himself.
Does he have any weaknesses that could be exploited?
Not
If we
according
needed to create our own leverage?
Not according to our files. He does have 3 children, though. One is an adult in his close to the early 40s. He's 38. They have 2 younger children who are in their early 20s. It looks like they are finishing up their last year at Seattle U.
Wait, is James Tanner the warden?
No, James Tanner is not the warden. James Tanner is the owner of Cybersecurity Solutions.
Okay, I realized I was making a bad assumption there. They wouldn't happen to have any sort of leverage against the warden, would they?
Oh, absolutely. We had runners kidnap his daughter 2 weeks ago and send him threatening messages based on that.
Kidnap his daughter? Jesus.
Don't judge.
Oh, so you are maybe get girl moved to female part, easy access.
No, as currently stated, the only person who can possibly move this target is James Tanner himself.
Oh,
The warden would be the one who carries that order on site, out on site once it was delivered. You guys need to start making notes down in the black area for this. You can. Giving you lots of information. Oh, discardment kaput. Is everybody still quiet, or is it just Blackfeather?
No, I'm here.
All right, cool.
We're quiet.
Cinco.
Let me post you some stuff, because I've thrown out a lot of information at you. Let me make this real big so I can see it. The warden is named Martin Bryce. They have leverage related to kidnapping his daughter. To move Dawn, it would need to be a directive from James Tanner. That then goes to the warden. You could get access from the lower, or from the public facilities, as you kind of mentioned. Though you would just have to figure out a way to get through, you know, potentially create a hole in concrete.
They don't have any sound or vibration detectors near the bathrooms, eh?
No, that does not seem to be on my list.
I mean, if you want to tunnel directly under the area that they're being held in, and then pop into there.
Yes, maybe.
And the directive from James Tanner, how does that come to the warden?
Through the host.
So, I don't suppose you have any hotshit deckers on staff that can put in a message from him in the host?
Your account is not cleared for personnel.
Understood. And by move, it's just move out of the lower place or move to another facility.
All of that would need to come from James Tanner. Either of those options.
Well, could we just pay a decker to put in a thing in the host in order to move?
You want
And
to do another carjack?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if we already have leverage on the warden, then he can probably be convinced to not look too closely at the black SUV coming to pick up the target.
So you hear your NeoNet contact start pulling up different files, and it's like, looks like the security procedure to move would be in an Ares Roadmaster with 2 full HDR teams as escorts.
This I am not like.
All right. So probably much more likely to get an order to move out of the being frozen to not being frozen, and in medical, if we can get her to medical, then it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 doors to move through to get there for an extraction. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
And only 200 meters to the fence. Cam, how much armor is on your vehicle? And how much do you like it?
I like it a lot, and none. It's my street ride.
Don't suppose anyone can steal a truck?
Ah.
What's your angle here? You do realize that the fence is made of thick concrete with cantina wire on top, right? I'm just curious if your idea is to drive a truck through the wall.
I assumed it was like a chain link fence.
Oh no. The outer wall is a concrete fence with a cantina wire on top of it. Essentially, it's made to look like beautiful stylized stone. It actually looks quite lovely, with the exception of the horrifying, razor wire on top. But it actually looks really lovely. Well, none of you are Matrix people, but there's a reason why it's made of concrete. Let me see.
Lady on the com, you are say is Roadmaster and 2 HTR for escort?
Oh yeah, it looks like that's how they picked her up, and she starts sending you newspaper headline articles of where Dawn got picked up to. I think it was about 2 months ago, and it looked like it was an Ares Roadmaster with an HTR team that plowed through Yonkers' car. They also shot up Loxley's car and totaled it, and managed to escape afterwards.
I am think maybe we are HTR team, borrow Ares. Roadmaster from somewhere.
Oh, sorry, I think I keep saying the wrong one. I think it's City Master, right? It's the big fucking tank. I do this all the time, so let me double check. Not to get rid of your idea. You can still do it. I just want to make sure I give you the wrong info.
The Roadmaster looks like a sci-fi Humvee, maybe?
I think it's the Roadmaster. It's the handling of a tank. One of these looks like a. I'll find you the picture for it. Don't want to do what I did to the last team where I tell them the wrong one, and then there's an embarrassing moment where we have to talk about what it actually is. That's a Minotaur. Do I have a Roadmaster? Anyway, it looks like a fracking tank. I'll find a picture for you while you continue talking.
Found you one.
And how do the employees get in and out of the facility? Is there a parking lot that they go through and that they can just stop at?
Oh yeah, of course. There's in the front. There's a parking lot where you can essentially park your car.
And how hard is it to become an employee of this facility?
Well, you just have to go through the normal application process. It's not hard. And she'll start sending you the things. That's essentially what it looks like. It looks like a giant sci-fi tank. It's a City Master, I believe. Sorry.
Right. So, I believe that the best course of action is to lean to get the message into the system that she is to be extracted to somewhere, medical or otherwise, for an on-site visit from some visiting dignitary, perhaps, and then from there, once she is physically moved out of the Cave of Doom, we can either go for a oh god, why are we doing this physical extraction? Or we can go for something more subtle. If she's conscious, I should be able to mask her as an employee and mask the employee as her, and get them sent back down into the thing. It shouldn't last too long for them, so they should be okay. And then we possibly could just walk out. That seems like a long shot, but that's why people will be there with backup and high-powered guns to cover our escape as we're running far, far away.
I am think still maybe is good find the City Master. It's easier tell them make transfer, yes?
Well, do we want something that's more armored or something that's more fast?
And I'll just do a quick search for City Master rentals.
Yeah, let me do some looking around here. If you want a full all-out City Master, which may actually be the Road Master inside of Hero Lab, it is going to be... There's probably places that rent this stuff out. It will be $10,400 a day. Sorry, let me do that again. It will be, that will be the deposit. Sorry.
So basically, that'll be what we pay.
So it'll be $2,080 a day, and the deposit will be $10,400.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that deposit back. Just saying that I don't know what we're planning on doing, but that deposit's not gonna get back to us.
Could. I mean, there's always hope, right?
I think if we are
You know where you are.
if we are pretend to be HDR team, maybe they don't shoot and we can give car back.
Okay, so if you want to do HDR team, you are going to need sets of full body armor. You're going to probably need an Ares Roadmaster and to be able to impersonate humans. There also is intended to be 2 full teams to extract this target. Should be teams of 5.
Is probably
There we go.
easier if we were all wearing full body armor, right?
Well, yeah.
Yep. Well, I personally do not have the funds on hand to buy 10 suits of full body armor at the moment.
I cannot have.
And I certainly don't want to bring 6 other people in on this.
I mean, I could probably find actors that we could hire, but I'm not sure how much I would trust them to not stop in the middle and yell cut and talk about their motivations. That would be very awkward. Depending on how smart these people are, I can always whip up an illusion of 10 people, but that would not last a very long time before someone saw through it.
This, I think, is no good.
It's a lot of steps that have to go right.
And if only our expense account had one more zero, I could definitely get us the full body armor.
Maybe we can borrow. We will give back, yes?
I haven't really found a lot of places that rent full body armor. Usually if you have full body armor,
Alright,
you either want it for a long time.
we've been going for a little bit over an hour. Let's all take a quick 5-minute break and maybe stop the wheels of overthinking things from turning for a minute. Get a break, get a drink, get up, walk around, and we'll jump back into this. We wanna try to rent a Roadmaster. We could try and get an acting crew together. We could try to do that, or we can.
I think that plan fell apart.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it.
All right, let's take a quick 5. We'll be back.